Matt is with us in Rochester, New York. Hi, Matt. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and Christine. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So my wife and I, I'm 31, she's 30. We're in baby step 3B, thanks to your guys' teachings that we have been following for almost 3 years now. So
good job. That's awesome.
Thank you. So we're getting to that point where we're looking to become homeowners, but it's a little bit more complicated now that home prices are quite a bit higher than they were, year over year, and interest rates are going up too. So one of the things that I wanted to confirm is when you guys say to budget 25% of take-home pay for a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage, that does not include retirement and college funding, right? But it does include property taxes, insurance, HOA fees, et cetera?
Yeah, it would just be your house payment. So the point is this. You can qualify for almost double that payment. Yep. And when people do that, you know what happens? They got no money. They become house poor.
That's why they call them mortgage brokers.
Exactly. You got the plan. And they become house poor because you're broker. And so, but then the next time a car comes up, it becomes a car payment because you got no margin to save up for the next car. Next time the heat and air goes out, you got no margin. If it's over the emergency fund, you're screwed because you can't cover it. And so, because it's all going to a stinking house payment because you saddled yourself with that. So you're obviously not going to go that far over into the land of stupidity. Our guideline our guideline of 25% of your take-home pay, meaning whatever you're coming home with, not counting just taxes. Taxes out of your check is all. What would you get home after tax? Now, if you got health care coming out, even health insurance, you can take that out of the equation if you want. I don't care. The point of the whole formula is not the nuanced exact percentage. The point of the formula is keep a small enough house payment that there's margin in your life and do it on a 15 years so you can get the house paid off because that's what millionaires do.
Absolutely. So this past weekend, we actually got pre-approved for a mortgage payment that was 29% of our take-home pay. Now, this was 5% 30-year conventional fixed rate. And the problem was, as well as with the closing costs and the down payment, that was going to have to dig into our baby step 3 fund. So I know obviously that is not something you guys would recommend. Basically what I was working on was, so I built my own mortgage calculator where the property taxes, so we live in New York, so we have pretty high property taxes. So on a $200K property, you're looking at about $6,300 a month, $6,300 a year in property taxes.
Yeah.
So $550 a month, hazard insurance of about $75, prepaids. So, and then for the closing costs, we got quoted.
Prepaids are not monthly. They apply. That sets up your escrow account to pay your taxes and insurance.
Right. So for our closing costs, so for our prepaids, we were quoted $8,105.
Yeah.
And our closing costs of $6,273. So just out of curiosity, I created a calculator where if, say, we were going to go look at a $175,000 house, it would calculate those down to 3/4 of that $200,000 quote, just for rough math. So I looked into, if we took out a 15-year fixed rate at 4.92%, which is what the average 15-year fixed rate is running at. So with our take-home pay, we could afford, just for the mortgage, not counting the property taxes and insurance, about $957 a month. But even on a $175,000 property, that calculates out to about $53,400 down, plus the prepaid and closing costs.
Stop. What's your question?
Well, so I guess the question is if we're going to be renting for a while longer, would it make sense to potentially start doing baby step 4? So I have a Roth 401k.
You can do whatever you want.
employer.
Baby step 3B is 0 going into retirement up to 15% going into retirement in baby step 4.
Okay.
And obviously, the more you put into retirement, the less you're going to put into your down payment fund.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
Absolutely.
and the more and what you're trying to do is get into a house at this stage of the game. And so here, what do you guys do for a living?
So I'm a business analyst, and my wife is a teacher aide.
Yeah. So what did you make 2 years ago? 3 years ago? What were you making before COVID?
Actually, I've had pretty good pay raises.
That's
so
what I'm asking.
2 years ago, I was at 60,000, and my wife.
What do you make now?
She's 75. I do.
Okay. And so if you take out a 29% today, in 2 years it's going to be 25%.
Right.
Okay. And if that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on a 15-year, that's not the end of the world. My point is not to take out, 38%, which you can qualify for.
Right.
And you don't want to do that. But don't over-nerd this, okay? It's a concept. Right. The concept is big stinking house payment means no money. So the concept is get reasonable house payments so there's margin and I can get through getting this thing paid off. But if you've got an income that's on an upward trajectory like yours is, you're going to be at the 25% within 18 to 24 months, and you're not going to have wholesale violated this concept and made yourself house poor. That's what we're trying to avoid, not trying to figure out some hard and fast pharisaical rule. The reason we teach you this is to keep you from going out test driving Bentleys and then having to buy a Chevrolet. It's just hard to do that.
Yeah, that was my thought, is it's not to be legalistic. It's not to try to follow technicalities. It's to give you freedom in the long run and to build wealth. We don't want you tied into something that's going to really stress you out long term and prevent you from really building wealth.
Yeah. But I mean, Dave, I couldn't do it. It was at 25.5% of my take-home pay. Oh, shut up. That's not what we're talking about, okay? And that's not this guy. But I mean, if you get to the point, understand the reason for these things, and then make grown-up decisions based on that, guys. That's what we want you to do. This is The Ramsey Show.